Good afternoon, everyone out here in our social media world. We are MNC Hoops. My name is Michael. To my, technically, I guess my left is CJ James up in New York. How are we doing today as we get back to jump into this basketball conversation, man? You doing all right?
Yes, sir. Doing well, bro. Had a good weekend. Relaxing right now. Watching the Knicks game. It's a close game against Golden State. In the Gardens. Hopefully we can go get this dub. Need to start going on a nice little win streak here. But yeah, my weekend went well. Trying to get back on the 2K scene. It's been a little busy. So
Okay.
This weekend, try to get back in the field.
There we go. It's been a minute for me too. Of course, Wednesdays I'm usually off. So I need a haircut. I took my son last Wednesday to get a haircut and myself, and didn't have enough time for myself before I had to go pick up the kids. So he got the fresh cut. And I'm still, looking homeless just a tad bit. So hopefully by next Tuesday, I'll look a lot better with that. But yeah, man, it's been a fun week. Good week. Glad to talk some NBA. Sometimes I don't get to watch a lot of NBA, and the show helps me actually catch back up with some of the games I missed. East Coast, let's be honest, when a parent of three, these 10 and 11, 12 o'clock games that are going on out in the West Coast, sometimes Daddy can't catch those. So I'm ready to chop this up with you. Of course, let's just go ahead and jump into the main topic, what just happened recently. Everything that could go wrong seems have went wrong for the Dallas Mavericks. And, of course, the other night, we all saw the play so many times. Kyrie Irving is out now for the season. And, of course, it was a bump knee, and he ended up tearing, I think, an ACL with the injury there. And stayed in, shot his free throws. And then basically had to be helped off. I won't say carry off, but had to be helped off the court. Basically a Kobe moment that we've not had in a while since the Achilles with him. So what's your thoughts on this, and what do you think is going on here?
Johnny, what's going on, brother? Good to see you.
What's up, Johnny?
Sure. Prayers up to Kyrie Irving. Just when I was watching the game, and actually I stepped away for a little bit, and then I looked. I didn't see Kyrie on the court, and I was like, "What happened?" And then I didn't see him on the bench, and then I went to my phone. I saw the video and everything. It's just sad. It's just sad, really, for him. I think he was having one of his best career. He was having one of the best years of his career. Having a career season, shooting 40% from three. I was just talking about last week how he grew took lessons from his time being the first option in Boston to now trying to do it in Dallas. And God doesn't make mistakes. You just got to stay healthy and stay mentally healthy, most importantly, especially when you have a serious injury like this. At this stage of his career, this is year 14. So, so you saw the IG Live video, and he says he's in good spirits. So I wish Kyrie the best. I think he's going to persevere like he's done with everything else. It's just in the present, it's just completely unfortunate. Like I said, prayers up. Try to stay positive. I'm sure he has loved ones around him, people that support him. You think it then, not just when it's going great. And when you have adversity as well, when you face challenges, you need those people around you that truly love you. Not just for the money, not just for the luxury things. When you face real life adversity, it's people human beings at the end of the day. Right? So, it sounds like he has great people around him. Support system. That's key. Like I said, I believe he'll persevere through this. I'll have a better season next year. So prayers up.
So moving forward, of course, there's one graphic out that I thought was, I hate to say comical with it because of injuries, but it had a picture of Luka in his Lakers uniform leaving Dallas, more or less, and then it had AD like laying down an injury. It had I think Gafford's hurt. Is Lively hurt as well now?
Yeah.
And then, of course, now it's got the Kyrie, and it's almost just like, Luka got out and all these people are suffering is how they made it look like. Of course, this season, I hate to say it, but it's pretty much done for Dallas Mavericks as far as championship contention. So moving forward, what do we see for them? Is it tank as much as you can for a pick? Is it just, hey, let's just lick our wounds and rebuild as we go on? Let's just all get healthy and go from there. What's your thoughts on that part of it, at least?
I believe you shut it down. There's no point in having to come out there and play. Those wouldn't be impactful minutes because Kyrie wouldn't be out there. Start the season, next season, Kyrie won't be there. Right? So I just think if he's not 100%, he doesn't need to be out there. At this stage of the season right now, based on what we saw last night, based on the news we got today in regards to Kyrie, I think we should just shut it down. Lively and AD and Gafford too. I mean, meniscus, MCL, you talk about MCL strains and things of that nature. Those things need to heal properly. You can't just rush those things. It's a center. Yeah, so I think they shut it down for the season. You want to get Max Christie some meaningful minutes. Max Christie will get some meaningful minutes. He'll get the basketball in his hands, and he'll start to create and gain some confidence. That's what they're going to need. They're going to need him to develop and grow and become a young rising star. That's it. Just sometimes on TV, people they just go straight to star and things like that. You have to be a rising star first. So for Christie, him now he's going to get some more minutes, capitalize on this. His number's going to be called. They can play spoiler to a lot of these Western Conference teams that trying to make the play-in. Oh, you think we're going to come in here and get an easy dub because we don't have our guys? Oh, watch this, right? So that's Jason Kidd is the head coach. Like, they're not just going to lay it out. I'm not, but
right.
When I say shut it down, it's like there's no sense in bringing those guys back. Like there's no logical.
It could be more harm than anything,
exactly.
Honestly,
exactly. Especially at this stage. So with the guys they have, go out there and play Dinwiddie. It's like Christie, Najee Marshall. I don't know what PJ's timeline was prior to what happened yesterday, but if it's something where he can come back, I feel like he should be out. He's one of those younger players that gets meaningful minutes. Now he can develop confidence, put the ball on the floor. He's taking more shots. He's creating for himself more. So there's definitely some things you could, despite it sucks, but you still have some pieces. You're still evaluating. You're still understanding what's important, and you still have some players that can come in there and that you expect to be there for the future. And now they're gonna have the ball in their hands. So let's see what they do. Next man up. That's what it's always been about. Where does that stand for this season? Again, they're just a spoiler. They're a spoiler team. I don't see them. They're not gonna what this. They're not gonna go to the championship. This is not the season for them. It's gonna be next year when they're all 100% ready to go. Then we'll see that the team at its full capacity. Right. So
it's we all said that the Lakers are a year away and the Mavericks are ready now. Well, it's flipped. The Lakers are ready now and the Mavericks are playing for next year. I'm just kind of looking up here.
I said Lakers going to the finals.
I mean, they can. We talked about that last week.
I said the ceiling finals, right? So
yeah.
And that's the ceiling for the Mavericks is the finals too. Like it doesn't
not
change.
This year.
Yeah, just not this year. Yeah, but again, ceiling is like at their capacity. It doesn't matter what. It's, hopefully it's sooner.
100%. Yeah.
So the Luka thing is people going to say people trying to throw certain air curves and things like that. I'm really not. I don't believe in those type of things. But it's just wow. It's just one of those shocking. It's one of the most shocking seasons we've seen in NBA history. And the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Lakers have to be all right there in the center of it.
Yeah.
So now we're seeing the aftermath post Luka trade and in present day, the Lakers are well in front ahead. And, obviously, to me, it was going to be that way anyway because they have the better duo. But for Maverick fans, like I said, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what to say. Just stay positive. It's one of those weird seasons. You really can't control it. If you're really upset, speak with your wallet.
Yeah. And, of course, they talked about reimbursing season ticket holders after the trade because they were so upset. Well, this is definitely the time to catch that in. Yeah, after the trade, they were talking about that. So if you didn't take advantage of that, if that opportunity is still available, you better take it right now.
Absolutely.
But
take that opportunity.
But I mean, honestly, the guys that are going to be playing, this is a great time to support them. I mean, it's your city. So, I mean, I don't get in the whole return those tickets or anything, but if you can, obviously that'd be great. So real quick on this, just looking up on the internet, time frame for ACL tear is anywhere from 3 months to a year. Of course, we know some other players that come back. Do you think this is going to limit Kyrie any for the future?
Yeah, I believe that he'll probably come back. Man. Best case scenario is January 26th. February after All-Star break. It's ideal. This is a knee injury. He's 34, turns 35 next year. Has to be very he has to be your medical staff and Kyrie and his team all have to be on the same page with his time.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's just about rehab and maybe he could pick up some things in his game and add things to his game with this timeout. Just make him a better player. There's a lot of blessings in disguise these days. So, it's,
I mean, like you started out
these last few years. It's been a whirlwind. Goes to the finals last year, and now this year. It's just, after the trade, it's just it's the ebbs and flows of life, really.
Got its ups and downs, and that's definitely proven right here. But as the way you started this segment out, I mean, you said prayers up to him. Of course, that's how we want to switch to our next one, man. It's just prayers up to Kyrie and what moving forward, not just for basketball, but also for his mentality of going through this. Because being injured, watching your team play for the rest of the season, and even off season not be able to train like you have for years. I mean, pretty much your whole life. That's going to be tough. But let's go ahead and switch over to the East Coast. We talked about this last week. The guy possibly could be out. We talked about shutting him down last week. And of course, the 76ers listened to the podcast apparently, and they went ahead and said Embiid is out for the season. So what's next for the Sixers? Let's see here. Looking at here, it just rolled out for the Sham, of course, breaks the news. I'm not sure when it was exactly. It looks like on the 28th. So Friday, I think, last week, a couple days after a show. Yeah, I mean, we talked Maxey, of course, still there. Paul George, we talked about last week. Maybe Paul George kind of rest as much as possible and just kind of get through the season and to be healthy with Embiid next year. But what's your thoughts for this for the Sixers moving forward?
Same thing again. Prayers up Joel Embiid.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect world, you want to see all of these guys healthy
mm-hmm.
going into the playoffs and seeing who's the best of the best. That's the perfect world. You have these moments where you're going to have these type of seasons where it's not going to be like that. That's not realistic. So, man, prayers up. Like I said, it's the injuries with the knee. Just going to have those problems with the knee. We talked about this over the last few weeks in regards to what the Sixers needed to do with Joel Embiid. It made absolutely no sense to have him go back out there with the record that they have, try to make the play-in. Absolutely not. Are you kidding me? If I was Josh Harris, it's not even a question. As soon as he comes out and says, I need surgery and it's going to be a long recovery, and you look at your record as the owner of the Sixers, shut it down. Because that's what you're paying them. You're paying them. And once you get the proper information from your staff, your team, maybe even your like personal doctor, to really dive in and see like what they're really talking about, talking to certain surgeons and things like that. Because you're putting $50-60 million into annually, into one player. So you need to make sure that he's healthy and ready to go. To me, it's never been a question of does he want to play in Philly? That's never been anything. You never question that. It's just the ability to stay on the court and being healthy at the right time. That's what it's been about with him. But he's had these injuries over the course of his entire career. He missed the first 3 years of his career with the back and knee, just all these type of things. So, as you get older, those things don't go away. So, like I said, I just wish him the best. Hopefully, he can come back, just play help. Just the team they have some solid depth. If he's there and they're able to get some games together, people are going to analyze the games that Maxey, George, and Embiid played. That's not a large enough sample size for you to truly make an assessment on them as a trio. You want to say what was that, like 16 games? That's not enough games. Maybe it might have been less than that. So what's next for the Sixers? Maxey, just continue with Maxey's development. That's all you can do at this point. I mean, you have to center your team around him first. Now he has to be the number one option now. This is it. He has to be the number one option. Now, listen, when Embiid comes back, yes, he's dominant. He's a center. So automatically, just off the presence of him being a front court dominant, versatile player, when he gets the ball, it's going to make more of an impact than a guard, right? Obviously, that's just what we see aesthetically, right? But in terms of who they need to focus their future on as an organization, Tyrese Maxey has to be number one, no question. It's just that's what you have to do at this point. There's no other way. And you need to build around him, build around his strengths, build around the things that he does well. Because he's going to be your future. And if you need to make a certain move to get him in a position to succeed, he's ready to go now. He's already averaging 25. It's not like he's averaging 20. He's there. I mean, and he can take it to another level, 30 points. He definitely averaged 30 in this league. He's more shots, more opportunities, which he's going to get. And I'm just excited to see his development when Jared McCain comes back. He's talented rookie. He had some solid moments before he, went out for the season with the meniscus. It's just an unfortunate season. Unfortunate season for the Sixers. Had a lot of expectations, but due to injuries, we're just unable to see what the team looked like in its full capacity.
For myself, and I didn't realize, of course, Embiid season-ending knee surgery, McCain, like you just said, left lateral meniscus surgery, Eric Gordon season-ending with a right wrist surgery, Kyle Lowry missed last night has been missing some games with a right hip, just injury management. Kelly Oubre was out for illness, Paul George left groin, so they are definitely very thin. But I'm kind of going to not say so much with you, but Andre Drummond is obviously still a big center and can play. Last night was his season high of 25 points and 18 rebounds, or the other night. I'm not sure if it was last night. So, I mean, they do have a big, and that's why they brought him in kind of to be the Joel Embiid 2.0 for this. I mean, obviously the limitations are there. But, I want to see Maxey kind of like you said, just let's do a lot of pick and rolls with Drummond and Maxey and just tell Maxey, hey, you're our guy. Let's go out here and try to get you 30, 40 a game and just get you confident for next season, like you're saying. But also I want to see some of these other guys. And, of course, I'm going to mention one that is a Kentucky guy that didn't have a great season last year, but it's Justin Edwards. He's been coming on here lately, as a rookie and still showing some high ceiling, I guess, if you will. Of course, he got hurt last night. I think he sprained an ankle, so I'm not for sure how much he'll be out. But I want to see Justin Edwards really take that next step with this because, Calipari recruited him, played him, and stayed with him for all year of showing what he could be. It's just that confidence was it. So now that you got Joel Embiid out and Paul George, I'm sure growing, it's going to be out, kind of consecutive games here or back to or every other games for a little bit. And he needs to be. Let's not overdo where Paul George does something and he's out for a year. Let's let some of these younger guys get in some reps and get some set plays for them, get them confidence going with that. Because Edwards, I think, in my personal opinion, at the size that he has, the physicality, the height, and the strength, with the mobility he has, he could be. And I'm not saying this is him, but it's just comparing, the styles. Andre Iguodala for years to come, a lockdown defender who can guard as well, get some buckets going on. So. I'm not saying he's at that level, people. I'm just saying the size and the play style, he can be that guy, and he's a lefty. So anytime you got someone who is ball dominant, I'll say with the left hand, it's automatically different for players. I don't care what you say, and it's an advantage on that. So I want to see some of these young guys get some of those minutes.
Absolutely, one of those exactly. Edwards, ready to go. It's a clear opportunity to knock down shots. They also can play spoiler as well. But it will make an impact, but probably just for seeding. Because the play-in in the East is just it's just.
They still have a chance to make the play-in, even without Embiid.
And that speaks to the bottom half of the Eastern Conference. That speaks from 7 to 15 in the East right there. So,
because as of right now, and I'm sure you've seen highlights, whatever, it's going on across the bottom of my screen here, is Philly trails Minnesota by 2 points right now. It's 59 to 57. So, if you're competing with Minnesota without your star player, that's a confidence builder. Hey, we can compete with these guys. Let's keep going. It's next man up. We know that. And Drummond is a solid big. So, I'm not completely worried about them as far as making the play-in. It's just some of these other guys, this is your opportunity to step up and prove that you're supposed to be here. Don't put the pressure on you because this is a golden opportunity ticket for you. So go out here and have fun with it. So
the fact that Drummond could still go out there, what did you say he had 25 and 18?
Yes. I'm pretty sure it was their last game. He had that season's high.
Why is he not a starting center in the NBA?
I don't know. I don't know what's happened to this Drummond thing, but he went through a spell where he wasn't much in Detroit, I feel like it. And then all of a sudden his career is getting rejuvenated. I don't know. He must have found Gary Brecka and just kind of start doing whatever Dana White's been doing with all these super health or superhuman things and get more natural. And now he's like, hey, let's go with it. But 25 and 18, I don't care. We're begging that for Karl Anthony Towns, 27-18, 27-15, if not 34 and 15. And This guy's the second option as the center. He's not even the second option as far as scoring. He's got 25 and 18.
Right. Yeah. The fact that he can still do that and he's not starting in the NBA is crazy. That doesn't make any sense to me. He's a former rebound champion, multiple-time rebound champion, all-star, multiple-time all-star. Lottery
right now, 64-64
in Connecticut.
So,
it doesn't make any sense to me. Why he's not? You telling me there's 29 better centers than him in the NBA? No. So I don't know what are these teams really looking at? I'm just. He's getting vet minimum contracts. He's not even getting a long term. He's been signing vet minimum contracts the last 3 years. What are we doing? What are these teams looking at? I don't know what it's politics. I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense to me how a guy could be coming off the bench, getting 15, 6. How many minutes does he get a night?
As of right now, he's only played 13 minutes. And, of course, I'm not for sure what quarter is, but 64-64. At least I can put this for you guys for comparison. Paul George has played 25 minutes. So he's at 14.04. It's running right now, so I look on NBA.com. So he's playing 11 less minutes than Paul George at the moment. Of course, he only has 2 points tonight, but he's got 7 rebounds, 2 assists, a block. I mean, he's a stat sheet filler, really. I mean, 2 points is pretty bad, but for 14 minutes getting in there, I mean, he's 0 for 4 on shots. So he's only taken 4 shots. He's made his 2 free throws. So, I mean, I'd say that, but Paul George, who is technically one of their stars now, he's 3 of 10 playing the 26 minutes, and he's only got 7 points. So big difference there.
Yeah, the fact that Lakers should have tried to see what's up with him, that would have been.
That would have been nice.
Just imagine. I mean, he was there already, and I thought he was going to play well with them next to AD. I thought it was going to work out. You know, that was one of the years where they got injured. LeBron had got injured with the ankle, AD with the groin. It was just, it never really worked out. So, yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird. I don't understand. That was just like a sidebar, but it's just weird. He can't start and get minutes in that.
Yeah. Of course, tonight, your guy, Grimes, he's got 25 points right now. So, I mean, I'm looking at the roster, and I forget some of these guys.
Man, we gave up Grimes for Burks and Bogdanovich, man.
I don't know why. I'll just say that. But, you know, they've got Lonnie Walker on this team. Of course, Justin Edwards is the coach's decision tonight, and after I just went on rambling about him. Of course, they got Grimes. You know, they've got some of these other guys that have been on the radar for years that now this is your opportunity, man. Like, this is your time to shine here. Of course, Quentin Grimes has played more minutes than anyone. Of course, that's with Maxey out tonight.
Grimes dropped 44 against Steph Curry, man, on a Saturday night primetime game. He was right there with us. It was him and Deuce. That was we gave up Burks. We got him for Burks and Bogdanovich, 2 players. Burks is on the Heat. Bogdanovich, I believe, was free agent.
Yes. So you gave him up basically for nothing.
Right.
That's crazy.
I mean, ultimately, we were going to have to pay him, right?
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, Brunson gave up $100 million. Like, so you telling me you can't make it work. It is what it is now. It is what it is, but I wish him the best. Like I said, I knew he was going to play well. I knew it. Like, it's a go. I saw it. It was going to take some time. Like, these players think people have this microwave mindset. Like, they want the player to be an all-star in year 1. Be a Hall of Famer. I need you to be a Hall of Famer in your first 10 games. If not, you're going to be trash for the rest of your career. That's the mindset of these bots online.
Yeah.
These human bots.
Shout out, and this is not one of our topics, but it's just kind of a perfect time to at least mention it. Shout out Scal you never can say his last, Lesbier, I think it is. He used to play for Kentucky. He was drafted by the Kings and then was out of the NBA for over 5 years and just signed a contract back. I can't remember who signed it back with. I think Utah. Lesbier, French player. I can't speak. Who did he sign with? No, I guess he's still with the Kings. So he's back with the Kings now. So shout out for him getting that opportunity. So, I mean, yeah, these players, they're coming in so young now that it's all on hype, really. And hopefully they develop quickly. But then if they don't, within 2-3 years, they're abandoned ship with that player. And these guys are going overseas or somewhere. And then, you know, luckily some of them make it back. Of course, they pretty much stay in the G League, most of them. But, like, when you draft in an 18, 19-year-old player and they struggle in the NBA against 34-year-olds, like, that's going to be given sometimes. So, I mean, yeah, build with these guys. You know, develop. That's a thing that's just not happening. And another guy, let's just go ahead and switch over to the topic while this kind of good segue is. Another guy who had a good career at the beginning, but just wasn't great because he didn't have the opportunity, is probably your MVP candidate, top clear cut right now. And of course, he just dropped another 50-piece, and we're talking about SGA. So do you think this guy is clear cut MVP? Because I say yes. I mean, this is a perfect episode for Kentucky basketball and NBA. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, definitely. It's elite talent from that program in the NBA. SGA dropped his fourth 50th piece this year, January 22nd, 54. On January 29th, he dropped 52, February 5th, 50 points. And then yesterday, 51 piece. Yeah, I believe he's the clear-cut favorite for MVP. And then he's been consistent all year, most 30-point games, up there in steals, two-way player. OKC's been the best team in the West. It's the best conference in the world. I mean, listen, I don't watch soccer that much, La Liga, Premier League, but I'd put the Western Conference and the NBA up with a lot of conferences in sports right now, in terms of the talent, what the teams look like. So for the Oklahoma City Thunder, led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they're the best team, clear cut by a multiple games, clear in the lead in the conference. So I mean, to me, it's wrapped up already. It's already wrapped up. He already has the award. I mean, it's really, they should just be ready to just, etch out the name and send it over there in a couple of weeks. Because
to be the number one team in the NBA, basically, like you're saying, the West for the past couple of years too. And that was the argument against me last year. Is like he's not done it yet. He's stayed good for the whole season, but what about playoffs? Well, this year he's doing it again, so I think he's deserving of it. And I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'll leave you alone. Keep going.
No, you're good, man. Exactly. He's deserving of it. And you look at the story and right there is perfect transition and how he got to this point, because that matters, especially when you win your first one. You have to talk about the story and where he started with the Clippers, getting traded, learning from Chris Paul, making the decision. I want to be the guy. I want to be the guy to lead this team to success. I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of 15, 18, 22 win seasons. Who wants to you put all that work in throughout the summer to win 22 games? Come on,
that'd be tough.
It's crazy. So there's a certain mindset, and it started with him, and then once he shows what it takes and his identity and his character, everybody else is going to follow. And now you're seeing a full team. Sam Presti's done a fantastic job of putting a collection of high IQ basketball players around him on both sides of the basketball court. All of those guys make an impact. Anybody can have a great night. Now in the playoffs, you're going to need consistent second and third options. It's paramount. But what he's been doing right now in the regular season has been fantastic, and I believe he's going to be this year's MVP, no question.
Yeah, and I'm looking at last night's game against the Rockets, at least as far as stats. He did shoot 30 attempts. So let's at least bring that up. Now, the back argument for that is he shot 60% from the field. So, I mean, 18 to 30 for 60%. He should keep shooting. He's lights out. 10 for 10 from the free throw. He also had 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, and a block. So with his 51 points, he had 7 assists, 1 block, 1 steal, and 5 rebounds. That's a pure game. I mean, even if you take off about 20 of those points and you're only having 30 with the 7-1-1 there with the 5 rebounds, he's the leader. And I look up here, they're number 2. Who would you say, Jalen Williams or Chet? I always say Chet, but, Jalen's also, right there, a 2B, 2A if you want to. With that,
I would say Chet.
Okay, he only had 11 attempts.
It needs to be Chet. Yeah,
I agree with that for sure. In this game, he only had 11 points on 11 field goals. He did make 3 of 4 from the free throw, and he had 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. So he's also making a difference on the defensive side. We know that OKC's bought into the defense. So, I mean, I'm looking at some of the shot attempts at least, and the only people that are above double digits is Holmgren with 11, Jalen Williams with 16, and then you got SGA with 30. But again, shooting 60%, that's good. Like we go back from a generation where Gilbert Arenas was having 30, 40 points games and he was shooting so much, but the percentage wasn't as good. So, I mean, when you shoot this, you should be shooting that. But I will say, while we're in this conversation,
the efficiency is exactly what matters. Is he a great 3-point shooter? No, right? But he's able to get to the free throw line. He's able to get to his spots on the court and make an impact, man. And I think,
of course, he was 5 of 9, 55% from 3-point line last night. But yes, that would be his sweet spot.
Yeah,
but I do have to give a quick shout out since we're in this game. Reed Shepherd, another Kentucky guy, got his first start last night. He played 21 minutes and he ended up with 25 points, 5 assists, and 2 rebounds with 2 steals and a block. Sorry, I thought it was thunderstorm. We got a wind advisory here in Kentucky. It's crazy storms, but we're good. So shout out to him for his first start and making, the most of it right now, of course, with Houston with that first start. Of course, he went to the G League for a couple of games and they said pretty much, nah, man, sorry. You're scoring too many points. Just come on back. Now he gets his first start there. So shout out that. And, another Kentucky SGA, Reed. They even had a moment afterwards where they kind of, broed it up, if you will. And it just was a beautiful Kentucky moment, Let me just – it's average. I don't know what I'm just. Anyway, I can't speak now.
It's a great vibes. It's only a matter of time. I mean, the Rockets have so much talent, and I don't know. If we're gonna talk about. I feel like we're gonna talk about the Rockets in a little bit, but
yeah,
they have a lot of talented players and with dog mentalities. To where if they get more opportunities, more shots, you could see their potential at a higher capacity. So, Reed Shepherd definitely one of those categories. But they got so many guards, so it's going to be tough for him to really get. You got Whitmore, Reed, Green, Thompson has to get shots. Van Vliet too, of course. Exactly right. Yeah, so it's too many options.
Yeah. So, of course, we just talked with SGA about his MVP clear-cut, who we think. But I also want, and, of course, go into this next topic. Because, CJ, I'm sure you're going to say yes to this. But should LeBron James be in the MVP conversation for this season?
So we're going to start with this clip with this is Kendrick Perkins on First Take. And he makes the point.
He just looks so mad all the time.
Yeah. He definitely does, always.
Now let's have a bigger conversation here. Are we sure that Nikola Jokic is the best player in the league? Are we sure about that? Because I would have to argue, and I would have to say right now today, that LeBron James is the best player in the NBA. Here's why I said the best player in the NBA gets it done on both ends of the floor. LeBron James is getting it done at the age of 40 on both ends of the floor at a high level. He could guard 1 through 5 defensively. Offensively, we know what he could do. Damn it, he could damn near play 1 through 5. I would argue if they need him to play the center position, he's the second best center in the Western Conference behind Nikola Jokic, especially with Anthony Davis and Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively being out for the Dallas Mavericks. What LeBron James is doing at a high level on both ends of the floor still to this day, I would have to say right now, he's the best player in the NBA.
Interesting stuff. From Kendrick Perkins. Michael, what's your thoughts?
Man, I knew he was going to come to me first with the LeBron conversation. Like, come on. I mean, I get it. The talent is there, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to LeBron, but there's so many times that I watch him play as defense and he just gives up. And of course, I know there's always those broken down plays in every game that it just seems like it happened. But to me, if you're going to say that a player can play it on dominant on both ends, it's nonstop. It's never going to be broken up between like, wow, that was a busted play. Well, you can see he didn't even try on that play. And we've seen that. Let's be honest. We've seen LeBron highlight where he does not even try on defense. Like there's no rotation and he just stops. So it is what it is on that. Now, can he be talented-wise 1 through 5? I would agree with that. Yes, he has the talent. But we do see at age 40 that some of the stamina is not as good or as well as it used to be. But yes, he is still a dominant player. But what I hate about this is we're taking a segment from what they had talking about SGA being the best player of what he's done, and we're already taking it away from SGA and putting it on LeBron. Like that is what ESPN does so many times. Like SGA has been killing it this year. Yeah. But yes, I mean, I see your numbers here, 26 points, 55%, and of course 43 from 3, which has been his struggle really is his 3-point. So, I mean, 43 up, that's great. 8 rebounds with 8 assists. Like he's almost averaging a triple-double. So, I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think he's the best in the NBA because it's not constant anymore. And I'm not being disrespectful on that. I think he's up there in top 5, yes. Don't tell me to name him. Don't you do it. But I definitely think he's up there because of his unlimited ability to play in so many different positions. So I get what he's saying, but nah. I mean, who would you pick if you had first overall pick, or if you were picking the Lakers? Who do you think the number 1 option is there? I would say Luka. So if he's the number 1 option,
Luka, because LeBron is deciding to defer, and LeBron is a better off ball player than Luka, right? As you see that, they already have the full court passes, live passes to each other on the fast break. Luka get the defensive rebound. LeBron's already leaking out because guys don't really play transition defense like that in the NBA. He gets the rebound, automatic two-hand chest pass, fast break to LeBron, easy layup. Those are easy baskets those are easy baskets. Those aren't struggle, 7 left on the shot clock. I got to make a basket, driving to my left, right-handed. Like, that's just a easy pitch and catch layup, right? And that dynamic there, when Luka has the basketball in his hands, and LeBron is the recipient of it, it's better than the other way because Luka isn't a great off-ball player, which to me, we'll dive into that more. But yes, Luka is the number 1 option because LeBron understands what Luka's strengths is, and it's better if LeBron's playing off the now the defense is solely looking at Luka, and LeBron's like wide open at the hash. According to the basket, it's crazy. We never seen LeBron this wide open ever in his career. So yes, Luka's the number 1 option. So what were you saying again?
I mean, if Luka's the number 1, I mean, to me, how is LeBron the number 1 player? And I'll even say this. As far as the Lakers for this season, it still has Anthony Davis as their on Embiid or ESPN.com as their leading scorer with 25.7 points. So I'm not for sure when he turned 40, but it must be kind of a little bit of a different span there because I was going to try to look up what his stats are for the whole season. Let's see, that's against.
It's pretty much the same, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like
yeah, 24.8, which is pretty much 25 and 8 with 51% from the field goal. So I mean, obviously, yes, he's a great player, but I just think liability on defense can be there sometimes. I mean, am I wrong on that?
Yeah, I've been watching every Laker game. Probably say the last. I'll probably say like the last 20 games, 25 games. And yeah, I mean, the defense is still there. It's just, again, you have to pick your spots throughout the game. Now he could play more defense because Luka could initiate the offense more, right? So he can apply some of that energy on defense and get stops on that end, which creates, again, easier baskets for his teammates.
Mhm.
So,
And I will say, I've not watched the Lakers play other than the Luka Dallas game. I haven't watched them since then.
Okay.
So, again, that West Coast, and I'm old, man. Like, I can't stay up that late.
no, yeah, listen, I understand that for sure, of course. But Kendrick Perkins makes a good point. You asked me, is he still the best player in the league? Jokic got the crown right now based on he's at a point where his career is still going, right? And he's putting up crazy numbers. But again, who would I want in the playoffs? If we're doing a draft to start the playoffs, so who do I want? Number one, everybody's available. Of course, everybody's taking LeBron. That's not even like on some that's just a fact, just based on what he's done in the playoffs. If you need a number one option for the playoffs, who are you going to take? Remember, we had this discussion before a few years ago, right? With me and Nick, exactly. And it's the same thing. I told you, it's just again, the Jokic and Embiid, these guys, Tatum, they're younger, they're ascending, they're still going, and LeBron is on the back end. So yes, but in terms of games played, he's been available. He's played a bunch of games. Last year, he played like 76 games. So it's not like he's not available. He's not like he's missing time or anything like that. So yeah,
and there was a stint where that was a problem, that he was missing games or he was just more or less quitting. So I will say that I agree with you. I feel like the past 2 seasons, like he has been more available for those. I will agree with that.
Yeah. So yeah, there was a couple of injury years, but right now, look at these numbers. I mean, he's shooting better now from 3 than he was during his prime. It's crazy. I mean, he wasn't a great 3-point shooter in the beginning, and then he developed into a really good 3-point shooter. Now he's at a elite average. That's 43, 40%.
Oh yeah,
over 50% from the field, and we already know everything else he does on the court. She's going to be in the conversation. Absolutely, definitely in the conversation. But again, I still have SGA because of what did on the whole season. But who would be second right now? I mean, yeah, Lakers. I mean, they're 16-4 in their last 20 games, and it's not like they just started getting. They were playing well with Luka. As soon as Luka, they were 5th in the West. Now they're 2nd, so they're 2nd in the West right now, behind OKC. So, and LeBron was there the whole time. So yeah, he's definitely in the conversation, and it just speaks to how just again, a legend. It's a living legend. It just speaks to what he's done throughout his career, how he's still able to play at an elite level at this age. We've never seen anybody do this. This is unprecedented territory that you're watching right now in sports. To play like this every single night, guys that are 20-something years younger than him, coming into the league 15, 18 years younger than him, they should be bigger, stronger, faster, and he's still pretty much damn near the same numbers he was putting up in Miami. So, yeah, in the conversation for sure, but still got SGA number 1.
Right. Now, we've not got the week top 5 MVP watch for you this season. Of course, we wait a little bit closer to when we get there. But exactly. I want to ask you this. Of course, I mean, we do have LeBron. We do have SGA, and I mean, Jokic, of course, is in the conversation no matter what. But I mean, me personally, this is not even with the show, but where you've got Donovan Mitchell on that.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell, yeah, 3rd, definitely 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, for sure, top 3. For sure,
okay, I'm with you on that.
Tatum, Jokic,
of course,
Giannis, and
I'm going to say this. I feel like Giannis has had a quiet season this year as far as media. It's been a lot of other people talk this year, and so I'm glad you've
I think that's good. Yeah. I think the Bucks, man, they're under the radar, and I think that's how it should be for them. There's not a lot of noise around them, and they could do some things. That's all it takes. The right matchup.
You're right. Of course, looks like they won tonight. I think I'm on tonight. Yeah, tonight they beat Atlanta 127 to 121.
Knicks just caught the L to the Warriors. Warriors got a big win. 2 wins in a row. On this little road trip for Golden State. OG played well. Brunson really wasn't able to get it going in the second half per usual, but tough loss in the Garden. No Karl-Anthony Towns.
Of course,
just what it is. It's what it is sometimes.
If you don't mind, why did he miss? Because I seen it was personal, something going on, family or something.
Yeah, they said personal reasons. Yeah, so everything is good.
I know he's very close with his mom. She passed away, I think, a couple of years ago. So I knew that they're a really good family. Of course, Kentucky again. So
right.
Let's see here. The Knicks, I didn't realize this, dude, but I just went to NBA.com and got the league as far as records. The Knicks has the 4th best record right now.
40-21.
Yeah. Yep. It's Cleveland, Thunder, Celtics, Knicks, Lakers, Nuggets, Grizzly, and then Rockets. Well, them Bucks. So we'll finish it out there. So 1, 2, 3. 3 in the top 8, 9 there. Okay.
Doing all right.
Yep. Let's get back on track. Where are we at now?
Not doing
all right. About that. Do what?
I say, who's not doing all right?
Oh no. That was perfect though for you. I'll be honest with you. That was a good segment or so.
Or maybe he might be doing all right after the summer.
All I'm gonna say is we know that when he gets shopped, that he's just gonna land in Miami. We know that's where it's gonna go. Thank you so much. Miami. We're not missing this one.
This is from Legion Hoops. Per Shams is reporting Kevin Durant and the Suns are expected to work together to trade him to a contender this offseason.
To a contender.
Get your reaction to that.
The word contender in this hurts my heart so bad because the Suns are supposed to be that contender. I mean, you have Booker, you have KD, you have Bill. You're supposed to be the contender. Like, what's going on? Like, why is this such a dumpster fire that the Suns can't put this together? And sadly, as much as I've always liked Kevin Durant, I think the leadership is really the problem. And I hate to be that aggressive, I guess, with him, but like everywhere he goes, something has been blown up. We had the Draymond Green, him yelling at each other, and then after that season, he's gone. We go to Brooklyn and, whatever fallout there, then you got Ben Simmons' drama, and then he gets out. So, I mean, everywhere he goes, things get a little diverse, and he bails. Like, most leaders would be like, okay, let's man up. Let's turn this around because, like what we were saying with the SGA, we're tired of losing. So I'm going to do something different to win. Not, hey, just trade me, let me get out of here, or demand that trade. Because everywhere he's went, he's ended up demanding a trade. And this is the guy who's supposed to be the leader. So it kills me that is what's going on, is that we're saying that we failed as the Suns with Kevin Durant, who is by far one of the top players in the NBA as far as skills, 7 foot, the handle from anywhere, the Slim Reaper, and you're about to bounce because it's dead in the Suns uniform.
Man, what an unfortunate situation. Well, it's just unfortunate for Phoenix. Well, because they were in the finals a couple of years ago, man. They were in the finals a few years ago. And the following year, they won 64. They went 64-18. And from that point on, it's just been downward trajectory. So they tried to make the home run move, get Kevin Durant. That was supposed to be the piece to put them over the hump, to make them a championship contender, to make them a championship team. And it didn't work out that way. It didn't work out that way. And the big mistake was the Bill trade. It wasn't a good trade. It wasn't a good trade for both parties, ultimately, because now Bill's coming off the bench. He went from being a guy in DC to now coming off the bench in Phoenix. That's not how it was supposed to go. That's not how it was supposed to go. That wasn't the plan. That was never the plan. So look how now his value is depreciated. And then he has a no trade clause. So it's like it's a double negative that really he'll still have a positive in because he has a no trade clause. But for a team and an organization, it's still a double negative. So that doesn't work. There's really nothing else for them to do. They don't have any assets. They don't have any draft picks. And when you do a trial like this, a big three trial, that's what this is. It's a big three trial. And we've seen this over the last few years. And unfortunately, KD has been a part of those. A few of them. It was Kyrie, KD, Harden. KD, Kyrie, Ben. Chris Paul, Booker, KD. And now we see Booker, KD, and Beal. It's like it's the same thing, bro. And they've been 0 for 3. It went 0 for 3 every single time. It's really unfortunate, but this is the only thing Phoenix can do to try to get some of those picks back. You got to try to trade him. Contender in the Rockets. Whoo! I would take, if I'm Phoenix, let me get Jabari Smith Jr., Reed Shepherd, Cam Whitmore, and I need 2 to 3 first-round picks. That's what I need if I'm Houston. You go Jabari Smith Jr., Whitmore, Shepherd, 3 first-round picks. KD's still averaging 28 on 54% from the field, 40%. It's not like the numbers are still there. He's still playing at a high level. It's just he can't be. To me, I always get like introvert. He's like an introvert. He's not really like a big vocal guy. Maybe on the court you talk trash because that's his element. That's where he feels the most comfortable is when he's hooping. He's been very vocal about that. But like I said, I don't know him. But just based on like what we've seen with the teams he's been on, doesn't seem the type to be like a super vocal guy. Even how the situation got handled in OKC, he didn't go out and seek to talk to Russ. He text him. This is one of those like weird things. Like just sit where he's just one of those. He likes to be to himself, right? It's different, which is fine. But and when he steps out on the court, because we see what he does. But I think you need a true vocal guy next to him, and that was Draymond. That was really Steph. I feel like Steph is an underrated vocal leader. People are so they see him in the way they see him in his build, and it's like he's happy-go-lucky. It's Steph Curry, but like he's they call him babyface assassin for a reason. It's the babyface and the assassin. And people really underrate that time when KD was in Golden State. I feel like people think Draymond was the vocal guy, and I think in some ways, but I feel like it was really Steph, and it doesn't get talked about enough. So he had that in Golden State, right? And that was easy for him to it was just an easy transition. He could just go out there, hoop, get you 28 on highly efficient numbers, back-to-back Finals MVPs. Muted, brother.
I think he was even quoted a few times during those seasons that he said, I can just go play ball. Like, he doesn't have to worry about leadership role or getting people together and be that ooh-hurrah guy. He just goes and play ball because Steph is doing his job and Draymond Green's doing his job. So I think you're actually onto something. And Steph, he's always poised and under control in the way in the manner that he carries himself. And that's a leadership that you could tell that he's carrying there. It's just we don't see what goes on in the locker room. So, I think Steph is a underrated leader, as you're saying there. So I just want to bring this up real quick. So this is from Brian, what's his last name? Brian Windhorst, yes. Right. So apparently this was written today that, let's see here. So, of course, they're thinking about trading ways, and it says here, where was that quote? Conditions in Phoenix have only deteriorated, and the only deteriorated is in quotes since the trade considered trading Durant at the deadline. So I didn't know this, but the Suns are set to become the only NBA team to spend more than $400 million in payroll and luxury taxes this season. And with that, they also, when the team was considering trading Durant to the Golden State Warriors, I didn't know that Durant vetoed that trade.
Yes.
Okay, so
yes,
I mean,
he didn't want to be moved. He said he spoke about it on Draymond Green's podcast. He said he didn't want to be moved during the middle of the season again, like how he was from Brooklyn to Phoenix. He said he wasn't a fan of the transition and doing the jumping ship and doing all of that. He just let the season play out, and then whatever happens in the offseason happens in the offseason. That was
okay. Well, that's fair. Yeah. Okay. Of course, that could have been just, words going on. Maybe he just didn't want to go to Golden State, and that's why I vetoed it. Because I'm sure there were other teams that would have taken Kevin Durant if they knew how available he was. So I just kind of thought that was interesting that he vetoed that. Kind of made me think, well, that leadership is so – it's not in his character that he was still upset and don't want to go to Golden State. But who knows? That's me reading into that. So
he's just a different type of leader. Like, he's a lead by example.
Yes.
And I think Booker and Beal are the same way. I don't really I don't know these guys, and I don't know how they act, on the court, but off the court. But just also when you build in the teams, like the personalities, you got to have different personalities that mesh well together. Right, because it's every team is going to have different type of players. You're not going to have the same type of players, same type of character, personality, identity, 1 through 15. It's going to be different. So if your top guys are they all have the same mindset, the goal is the same, but they're all different in their own way, and it works. Those are usually one of those great teams that could, like Jordan, Pippen, Robin. Like, it's not ideal. It's not one of those deals where it's like. And maybe in another field, it probably would never work with Jordan's mentality and Pippen and Robin. That any other field outside of basketball, that trio probably wouldn't be successful. But in basketball, and it works, and they made it work. I don't know. Like, what are the conversations that those three guys are having? Like, what are we? Because they could miss the playoffs. Like, we can see Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. They could miss the playoffs. What are we really talking about? Now, maybe they could potentially get into playing with the Mavs, right, going down. That could potentially get, but they have to go out there and play defense. Their defense sometimes, it's terrible.
But see, that's kind of it. Every great team that will say, quote, close to being a dynasty. Let me throw that one in there at least. You've got the mentality of I'm going to score no matter what. And then you got the sidekick that can set up and play defense too. But then you got the crazy one. I mean, that's pretty much every team that's out there. I mean, I even go back to the Pistons. You had, Ben Wallace, the defensive guy, and then you had Rasheed, who was the crazy one. You had Rip Hamilton that was running everywhere scoring. Like, you at least have that kind of made up of the personalities, of course, then we go, like you said, Rodman, the crazy one, Pippen, the defensive one, and Jordan's going to be the scorer. So there's usually always that set of three players that are the highlighter of the team, I guess. I won't say superstars because apparently I say that word too much, but, the main characters on the team. But then when you look at the Suns, there's not, of their trio, there's 2-3 guys that just want to score the ball. I mean, that's their characteristic. Give me the ball, let me get here and I'll score. Okay, that's never worked anywhere.
Right.
So right now, there's no one. Go ahead.
Right now, their starting lineup. We just looked at the starting lineup. They're playing the Clippers. Booker, Beal, KD, Bobo, Nick Richards. To me, if you can't go out there and win with that, it's not meant to be. I mean, those are the 5 best players on your team, position-wise.
And not only that,
that's the best lineup, I should say. Yeah.
How tall is that lineup?
Yeah, from KD to Nick Richards, yeah. Booker 6'6" at the point guard spot. But they have to play defense. They have to play defense, though. They have to play defense.
And that's the thing, though.
You can't. They're too talented to play some quasi matchup zone. No. Sit in the chair, bro. Like, this is crazy, man. They should not be 11th.
And really, you could almost switch everything. With at least 3 through 5, you can. I mean, Bill and Booker, okay, you all switch, but Kevin Durant can maintain 1 through 5. I'm not going to say guard, but with his length, he can back off and at least challenge a shot, if the switch happens. Bo is athletic enough and tall enough that he should be able to do the same. Nick Richards, if he gets on a 1, he's burnt. Let's just be honest. Try to get a steal and cause some chaos and just go on with it. But with that lineup, man, if these 5 guys really buy into it, that's a great lineup. But I don't see the crazy person. I don't see the one that's going to get every rebound no matter what. And I don't see the person on this team that's going to say, hey, I'm locking up my guy and I'm going to try to keep their best player from scoring 20 points. So it's the mentality of that. And I don't know why these teams don't really look into it. Let me find my guy that has this mentality. Let me see this alpha dog. And, it's just – in today's time, and I said this before, you disagree with me, 3 superstars don't work on a team anymore because you've got to have someone playing defense, committed to defense, and someone that's just, I'm going to be the scorer. It's not going to work.
So as I say, I never considered Beal a superstar.
Well, I mean, he was one on his team from Wizards.
Yeah,
he was the one.
So, to me, you gotta have some playoff success to get that superstar label. And they never, they had some really fun seasons in DC, but it was different. It was definitely different. But I feel like Budenholzer, he should have brought this lineup out earlier. I think Michael was lagging. They might be lagging right now. So. All right. Yeah, Michael was dealing with some internet issues real fast. He's gonna be right back. But yeah, like I was saying, I feel like Budenholzer should have brought that lineup out at the start of the season and have them develop and go through the growing pains of the lineup. You can't just now with trying to save the season, trying to make the play in. Now you want to put this lineup out. Now I understand they had Nick. They traded for Nick Richards. He wasn't there in the beginning of the season, but at least those first 4 guys, like, why did it take you so long to play Bo? He was just sitting at the end of your bench for like 40 games, just 40 something games. I don't know. And then it's the moment he gets extended minutes, he's putting up 12 and 8. Those 12 and 8 on a team where they didn't even have elite depth off the bench. Nurkic was unable to do anything for them. So, and I think they had Plumlee for a little bit. So I don't understand how he was unable to get minutes in the first half of the season. And he can block some shots. He has to play inspired basketball. He's really like the X factor. He can space the floor. He can slash. If he's on it defensively as a help defender, blocking shots, running in transition, staying out of foul trouble, keeping his hands up, not reaching. Well, like, what are you reaching for? You're too tall. He should be able to get a double-double every single night. Bobo should be able to get a double-double every single night. He's like 7'4". It's like, I don't understand these centers, man. But KD, man, to me, I was like, let's see what happens this season. If they were to make the play-in and then make the playoffs, there's still a lot of basketball to be played. So I don't want to just come out and assume like, yeah, the season is completely over, because after what we saw in Dallas, there is a possibility for them to make the play-in, and with those 3 guys, anything can happen. Anything can happen in a 1-2 game scenario. There's no guarantee that just because they're the 10th seed going up against the 9th seed, that 9th seed is going to win. It's not. There's no guarantee that's going to happen. So let's see how they play in the next 20. So I think it's like 21, 20 games left of the season. That's going to really be paramount. We're going to see what type of team they're made of. Really, well, let's see the character of this team. Let's see the true identity of this team back against the wall. You look into the locker room. You go to work every day. You see the talent, but you look at the win-loss record. It's not where it needs to be. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it?
Hey, I'm back. Sorry
well,
about that.
Phoenix Suns speech. Try to see what they could do, man. They need to lock in. They need to lock in. Before we start talking about this KD trade in the offseason talks, let's try to see if they can salvage their season and make the play and make a low run. You think they could do that? You believe in them?
Okay. I think they have the talent that they could be able to do it. But will they buy into the roles that they need to be? I don't know. Because, I mean, honestly, with Bobo, KD playing the 3 and 4, like every shot should be contested, and really they shouldn't give up too many offensive rebounds to the other team with that lineup too with Richard Zello. So if they were to lock in and really commit to playing the defensive side, I think they'd actually get a lot more easier buckets on the offensive side. But until they buy into it, no, I don't think they have a chance. If they do, then yeah, I think they could.
Man, it's gonna be fun to watch, bro. I'm definitely gonna watch probably like these last few Suns games. I'm gonna be glued and locked in. And I'm interested to see
Good one to glue into.
I'm interested to see Bo, man. Like I'm just, it's just a fascinating scenario how he just wasn't playing when they needed some type of spark from the front court position.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense to me. And then now when you're trying to make a push, he plays and he's playing solid. It's just like where was that? You know, you gotta criticize Mike Budenholzer on that, man. And maybe and also on Bo too. Maybe he wasn't doing things that Budenholzer felt like he trusted to go out there and perform on the court. Also a possibility, but we will all be watching what the Phoenix Suns do. Someone else that might be on the move, potentially.
LaMelo Ball could be the next young star moved. Do we really think that could be a possibility here?
So LaMelo Ball is a name to watch on the trade market this summer, per Mike A. Scotto. Following the Luka Doncic trade, NBA executives around the league have expanded their horizons on which potential stars could be next to change teams. The availability of the Hornets guard LaMelo Ball is one of the stars several executives who spoke with Hoops Hype will be monitoring on the trade market this summer. Yeah, it's time. It's time. So I watched that game yesterday, the Hornets Golden State, and I put a tweet out pretty much just saying that the defense is not there. And the mindset from LaMelo and Bridges. They're the two most talented players on the team. They should be the leaders of the team. They've been there the longest. Yes, you want to bring up context. Front office ownership has not been great. If you want to be honest, it's never been great.
No.
It's never been great. Like I'm 30. Like I don't even remember. The Kemba years were cool. The Kemba years were fun because everybody was a fan of Kemba, right? And but they still didn't build around. Jordan still didn't build around Kemba. You know what I mean?
Did they have Al Jefferson too?
Al Jefferson, yeah. He was good, but the team wasn't good.
Right.
It was like, man, like this guy's special, but 18 wins. So the Hornets have never been a threat.
The new Hornets,
since
going from Bobcats to Hornets.
Right, exactly. So pretty much from 2004 to now, they have not been. So Richard, we're going 21 years where we've never said, man, the Hornets they're going to be dangerous. Never said it. That's never been a sentence. That's sad. So we fast forward to right now, 2025. You have LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, Mark Williams, Nick Smith, got some talented players. Yeah, got some real talented players. But again, what's the difference between the Hornets and the Pistons?
That's actually where I was going to go with this. So
What's the
I'm right
difference?
there
Let me
with
see.
you because,
what do you think the difference? What do you think the difference is?
well, to me, I mean, you have to go with front office at least in some sort, building to a future. And also, they've actually made trades for some veterans too, and try to continue building that lineup or the roster that they have. To me, the Hornets. Okay, I mean, let's be honest. They had PJ Washington. They had Nick Richardson. They obviously had LaMelo Ball and Miller as well as some of these picks that they've had in the last little bit. Now PJ Washington's out, and he's on a team that he's playing well with that did well. And now we're going to see hopefully Richardson has that same effect. It's almost like these guys are good players, but in the Charlotte's uniform, they're trash. Let's just be honest. So, I mean, it's got to be coach. What's going on with there. It's got to be front office and on how you control your environment or the leadership as well. So, I mean, really the Pistons went last year with basically the same roster, winning 27 games, and now they're like 6th in the East. Because we also got to put this on it too, is Charlotte hasn't been relevant, like you said, for the past 2 decades in the East. Like that even makes some more onto it. Because, like, I'm not on it, but I'm trying to see. Let me go to it real quick. At least the standings. Do you have the standings anywhere pulled up on your computer real quick? Well, here I am now. So as of right now, okay, the Bulls are the last play-in game, and they are 24-37, like under 400, and that's play-in.
Under 500.
Hornets. Right. No, they're under 400%. They're 3.93 as far as their winning percentage.
Right.
So they're even way farther there. But the Hornets are 14-46. Like, you can't even get close to a play-in game in the East, where every team in the play-in game, that's 7 through 10, are under 500. Are under 500, and you can't be competitive enough for that. You're 10 games out of 10th place, who is 26 games out of first place. Like, you got to put some more on it. And Washington's trying to tank. Washington's 3 games less than you in the win column, and they're trying to tank. They're trying for that flag. So, I mean, that's my part, or my problem with it. And honestly, a lot of people love LaMelo Ball. He's a hype guy, I think, just a lot of swag with his skill and stuff. I've not really ever bought into his game too much, because even what you said, like, the defense has never been an option for him. He could do it, but he doesn't. And it's just, hey, let me get the ball, shoot this 3. I mean, we've seen his highlights in high school and in college. Well, he didn't go to college. Did he? He went to –
no.
Did he do G League?
Overseas. No, he played
overseas. That's right.
Yeah.
And so, like, we see – when we've seen so many runouts just pull the 3s, like, the mentality of leading as far as, like, toughness, we've not seen. Or at least I've not paid attention to it. And it's always been like, hey, let me take the easy way out. Let me just cherry pick and go shoot this and get as many points as I can for that hype. So, I mean, I don't believe in him as leading the team to, I'm going to say, a championship, no matter what the team is, let alone he's going to lead Charlotte to a play-in. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, they have too much. They're too talented to win 14 games. What are we talking about? Like 14 wins, and they've had a lot of injuries, and LaMelo's been injured, for a good portion of his career now, with the wrist, ankle, just injuries where he's missed a lot of time, and you need to be available in those games. But even when he's available, he could be more efficient. He should be more efficient. He's 6'7". He's not like a smaller guard where he has to really get the basketball over taller defenders. Last season, yes, does at times, but he's still a taller guard. So he should be much more efficient than he is. His shooting splits could be much more efficient from all 3 levels. The defense, I agree. The defense needs to improve, and that's one of the reasons why they're not a good defender. They're not a good defensive team. It's because their best player is not a great defender.
Yeah.
So they're just, the rest of the team. If you see their best player not playing defense, we think the rest of the team's gonna do.
Exactly.
So they had Clifford, then they got rid of him, then they brought him back. So it's just the Pistons. They went out there and got Troy Weaver, and again, Troy Weaver was with Sam Presti during those years with OKC.
Yes.
So he knows what a team, how to build a team. The Hornets have yet to find that person, that real true top tier executive. It's not easy. I mean, clearly for them. I mean, as we've seen, they haven't been able to find that right guy. Will he be moved? It's a possibility. It's a possibility. Because what's the point? What's the point? Like where's the direction? I don't really see the direction of the Charlotte Hornets. And Brandon Miller's been out too. He's missed time. Mm-hmm. It's just a team. It's just they were unable to get veterans. They just keep drafting young player after young player, and it's just you just got a whole bunch of team. You got a team full of young guys, mm-hmm. And that's not a formula for success because no one's holding each other accountable because they're all around the same age. They're all doing the same stuff.
Their veterans
and then they got a young head coach, but then they had an older head coach. But they weren't listening to him, so they thought bringing a young head coach to come in. I think it's going to take some time. I mean, let's listen to the franchise we're talking about. I mean, he can't save the Hornets in one season. It's going to take some time. But Coach Lee.
But and even looking at the roster, I just Miles Bridges was a solid player. Then he had his whatever off the court, and it kind of did what it did, but he's still playing good this year. And of course, Miller is not in right now. Of course, he's hurt, I think. But on the lineup, you got LaMelo Ball, Nick Smith Jr., Josh Green, Miles Bridges, and Mark Williams are your starting five. You got Seth Curry coming off the bench. You got Nurkic, who's day-to-day, and Taj Gibson, who's day-to-day. I mean, to me, I don't know. The more I look into this, the more if I'm Charlotte, I think I might be interested in trading this because if you could get some first-round picks from LaMelo Ball, I mean, you've got to start building something. Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to say this, but I mean, because I like Miller, but do you consider also moving Miller and just completely start over? Miller's still young, I think, so you could still go with it. I mean, Ball is still young too, but I would rather trade my good guys and get a lot of first-round picks and just say, hey, we're done right now, and let's see if we can make this turnover faster instead of being lukewarm there for a while, which they're not even that with these star players because it's quite crazy. You're going to tell me 14 wins out of 46 losses, and you're going to pay your players. LaMelo Ball's making $35 million this year. Miles Bridges making $27 million. And then you go down here, of course, Josh Green is making $12 million. You got Brandon Miller, who's only making $11 million, and Nurkic is making $18 million. Like, Miller's cheap, so I'm keeping him. Okay, I'm not going to trade him. He's still at $11 million to be one of your franchise players still. So, okay, I'm not going to trade him. But the rest, if you can get picks, go ahead and do it, and then build with Miller, I think.
So what I'm doing, if I was the owner of the Charlotte Hornets, is I'm calling up LaMelo, Bridges, and Miller. I'm saying, hey, yo, meet me in my office. You have a conversation. Like, this has to stop. This has to stop. Go to the games. You go to the games, and the home team is pretty much. I mean, the road team is the home team. when you look at you hear the cheers and the boos, you would think the Hornets are on the road, but they're at home. So no, their fans aren't showing up to the games. The tickets are good prices though. You can go see a good game for some good tickets. A Hornets game when they play the Hornets, play the Warriors. I'm pretty sure them tickets were solid. for a lot of people. They was able to capitalize and go see Steph Curry play the Hornets. But I'm having a conversation with all three players. Those are my three most talented players. I'm giving you guys one more year. One more year with this trio. We need to figure it out. We need to be in at least play-in contention. At least prime potential is top 6, but we need to at least be, because you got to aim high. But at least at the end of the season, we're somewhere in the play-in. 7, 8, not 10, not 11, barely making it up. We just got in the 10. No, 7, 8. Maybe had a slow stint there. You dropped down to 7. You was flirting with the top 6 for a little bit. What we're in the East, and that's what I'm saying. I would show them the stand. I'm like, we can't. I'm like, look at you guys. Like, you guys can't stop. You guys can't make the play-in. So, one more year. Yeah, one more year. One more year with that trio. I mean, they're talented, they're young, and we haven't seen them all together because of the injuries. Mark Williams, right. And I'm calling Mark Williams too. Mark Williams having like 20, 25, 18 games with like 3-4 blocks. But again, same thing, can't stay healthy. So the Hornets have 4 extremely talented players. Really talented players. That if they all were to buy in, we could see really something special, right? But that's the thing. It's that second part. It's all of them buying in defensively. Because the coach could only do so much. I mean, he could only give you so many rah-rah speeches, right? There's only been so many, that speech was good, that you could really say. You got to just go out there and just hoop. You got to go out there and do what you have to do. And right now, we're not seeing any type of leadership, as you said earlier, from the Charlotte Hornets, and it starts at the top. And since we haven't seen any great leadership from the front office, obviously it's going to reflect itself on the court.
I would like to, and I don't know how to do it. I was trying to do it while listening to you. I want to know what his team record was overseas. Like we hear all the points, but was he leading the team to victory? Like in the NBA, I did look this up. I think it was 97 and 127 is his record in the NBA. So, I mean, of course, it's the Hornets. So, I mean, I get it. This team's been losing, but you're not winning any games or leading any team to a winning season, then you're not a good leader or a winning leader. And who knows? Maybe that's really
different if they were in the West. If they were in the West, I'm like, hey, listen, he's putting up his points and but if they had those 4 players and they were in the West, I would say, honestly, I would say the same thing. If the team wasn't as good and they didn't have that type of talent and he was putting up great numbers, I'm like, hey, listen, like, what do you, I mean, they're in the West. What do you want him to do? He can't be 3 people. But that's not the case. That's not even close to the case.
No.
So
the worst team in the West.
1 more year.
The worst team in the West has more wins than the Charlotte Hornets. Jazz have 15 wins. They have 14. And they're in the West.
I'm saying that's everything. That's everything you need to know right there. That's everything you need to know right there. But
all right, I'm getting upset. I'm getting heated. I'm done with the Hornets conversation. This is ridiculous. The more and more I think about that, like
they love losing, man. There's no other way to say it. They love losing.
They don't care about winning. They just care about the monies they're bringing in. That's all you can really say. Front office, back office, whatever office you want to talk about. If they're accepting losing right now. But hey, as long as those tickets keep going down, I'm going to make it to 1 game. It's about 6 hours for me, but hey, might have to try to get to 1 game.
Yeah, that's a weekend vibe. You got to do that.
Yeah.
Plan out a weekend to go down there.
See, my niece, she has a huge crush on Booker. So for the past 2 Christmases, she's asked her dad, my brother, for Christmas if they can go watch Phoenix play in Charlotte. So they've went the past 2 years just for that. I'm like, you know what? That's honestly not a bad idea. maybe just go to Charlotte to watch these bigger players. Like, that's what they're doing. It's almost like the Vegas teams. They don't have really a home field because no one's really lives in Las Vegas. It's really tourism. But this is actually a big city. Like, this is Queen City in North Carolina. But everyone comes to watch the other team play. Like, that's how disrespectful it is. And if you're okay with it, never mind. I just don't want to play for this team. Keep doing what you're doing. But if you're not, man up or get out.
Yes, I agree.
All right. We going into power rankings now. I think we've done pretty good on this show, man. 10:30, we've already through everything.
Yes, sir, we're doing great. Let's dive into the East. I already had some discussions about it earlier, but number 1, Cavs, Celtics, Knicks. Let me refresh this. All right, here we go. So we got the Cavs, Celtics, Knicks, Bucks, Pacers, Pistons, Heat, Magic, Hawks, Bulls. Cleveland Cavaliers, 12th team to get 50 wins in the first 60 games in NBA history.
That's crazy.
Incredible season they're having right now, man. Incredible.
10-game winning streak, too. And I know one of those games was against the Celtics, too. So, I mean, that's a big win for them as well. I don't know if it's home or away, but I know they beat the Celtics one night.
Yeah, that was on the road. It was a big win. It was down 22 points in the first quarter. It was 25 to 3. It was 25 to 3. Donovan Mitchell at 41. It was a great game. It was a great. Tatum and Brown were going crazy in the first half, and then Mitchell started going off in the second half. It was an entertaining game. That would be a great Eastern Conference Final. I'd be shocked if that's not the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, to the clear-cut 2 best teams in the East.
Yeah, big time, honestly.
Easily. And listen, if the Cavs have home field advantage now, so that could definitely make a difference. You got the Game 7 in Cleveland. It's different patterns. So, but right now, I feel like a sleeper is Milwaukee.
Yes, and it's crazy to call them a sleeper.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to call them sleeper because they have Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo, but they've had. I mean, they're the 4th best team in the East. They started off slow, and they had to work their way and get back, and they did a great job. Unlike what the Sixers were able to do, Giannis, Dame. I think they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. Mm-hmm. They're 20-9. They're 20-9 at home, trying to get to 500 on the road. That's going to be key. They're going to have to be able to win games on the road. I mean, they're only going to have home court advantage in the first round. So in that second round, they have to split the first 2 games, and they have the players that should be able to do that. Giannis and Dame excel on the road, so it's not out of the realm of reality that they can't go into a hostile environment and get a dub. Dangerous. They're very dangerous. Now, Doc Rivers, when it comes now, the fear is Doc Rivers and adjustments.
Yep.
And that's what he's been unable to do. Up 3-2, losing series. Crazy. Most blown 3-2 series leads in NBA history. That's nasty work.
Yeah.
But he does have 2 players that could potentially eliminate those narratives because they're special.
Yeah.
It's not Embiid and Harden. It's not Kawhi and Paul George. So, the Bucks could get hot. They could get hot. Dame could have a crazy series, a couple series. Giannis is going to get 30. Like, it's just, he's going to get 30. He's going to get 30. You cannot stop him getting 30. It's just a matter of the team defense, and Dame has to have it going.
I'm excited to watch this team in it because, Dame in playoffs in the West was some great games, some great moments that we had in the NBA history. So to put him on the East now with Giannis, who I won't say struggles, but we know his main game of his points is downhill on a fast break or on turnovers or going. And when it comes to playoff time, sometimes you don't get those opportunities. But having Dame to really solidify those half-court sets for you guys to take over and just, Giannis, you do your thing and I'm going to get you in it. But, hey, we in half-court, we need something. Just set me pick, get out of my way. So I can't wait to see how this actually goes for them in the playoffs this year for them. Of course, again, like you said, Doc Rivers, that's going to be an underlining headline basically for the whole season or his career from now on, that no lead is safe with him as the coach. But I agree with you. They're a dark horse. They do have that chip on their shoulder. They know what it takes. They've done it before. So, yeah, all eyes, I think, are not on them right now, and that's why they should be watching them. Like, they aren't getting that publicity. They're not getting the love that they should get. So if it ended right now, how would it go? It's 1 and 2 get a bye in the first round, right?
Bye in the first round? Nah, this ain't football, bro.
Well, how do they do the play-in now? Because since they did that,
the 8. Yeah. So it's I think it's 7 and 10 versus 8 and 9.
Right, and the winner of the lesser will play number 1, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, then the other one will be 2, and then so 3 will play 6. So they will have home court advantage at least the first round if it ended now against the Pacers, right?
Right. Yeah, they don't even have to worry about playing teams. Yeah. So they get they play the Pacers, and that's a great series. But again,
yes.
they're battling for home court right now. They got the same record. So.
Yes. So, I mean, I was just going to go, if they do get that home court 20 and 9, that's definitely an advantage for them, but that's just for that first round. And so I want to ask you this as we're kind of getting off, I guess, expanding the power rankings here. If the Bucks don't make it to the NBA Finals or even the Eastern Conference Final, is the second round okay for them this year?
No.
Okay. Because I feel like it keeps lingering here that, it's got to be a point that you say, hey, you have that same meeting that you're talking about with the Charlotte Hornets, but this one's like, hey, we're supposed to be getting over that hump. Like, this is not what we're here for. So, okay, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, they should be a team where we shouldn't be surprised that they're in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right.
Like, we shouldn't be like, oh, man, wow, the Bucks made it here. That shouldn't be something we should say. I mean, look at the 2 players we're talking about they have on their team.
Right.
So at any moment, they could combine for 60 plus from 2 players.
And really, out of the top 6, do they not have the best 2 players, like duo?
No.
Well, I guess so. Yeah. Well, let me go with the Celtics. I totally overlooked the Celtics. I'm sorry. My bad on that. My bad. Sorry, Internet. I did not mean to disrespect Celtics there.
And
they have the second at least.
Mitchell and Garland, Mitchell and Mobley. Yeah.
See, that's where I was really going with it, I guess. And I forgot about the Celtics. I was like, do they have the better duo than the Cavaliers, who's in first, or is it the Cavs?
And Brunson and Cat too, definitely.
True. I'm still going to say they're number 2 as far as the duo, because the Cavs, Mobley is still developing. The ceiling's high for what they could be, but what Dame has proved in playoffs and Giannis has proved with a ring, I'm going to say they're the second best duo.
No, I see how you're going off of legacy.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Legacy, and how they're playing now. Like I said, they've been able to salvage their more than salvage this season. I mean, 10 games over 500. So, but yeah, I see what you're saying, but in terms of the chemistry. I feel like those duos are just ahead of them. So right now,
I agree with you on that.
But yeah, in terms of all time wise, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Do you think any teams?
Okay. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, do you think any team sneaks into the play-in?
Oh, from 11 and 12? Nah, brother.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't see it.
76ers about to go on a run. Now that the poison of Joel Embiid is out, watch them take fire here. No, I'm playing, guys. But yeah, what do you think of the Pistons? We said they were going to be dog trash this year at the beginning of the season. They're in 6th place right now.
It's great. It's fantastic. 8 games over 500. We got Cade Cunningham front runner for MIP. They're saying like an MIP, you shouldn't, a number 1 pick shouldn't win most improved. I see both arguments. But it doesn't, I mean, at the end of it, he did improve. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. I mean, he did improve from last year to this. I mean,
if John Morant can win it.
Yeah, they lost 28 games in a row, and now they're 6th in the East. And it's not like they're one of these 2 games under 500 6 seeds in the East.
Right.
They got a nice little cushion there, bro, to brag about, especially based on what we saw last year. Yeah, I've just been impressed. They're just continuing to develop, continuing to grow. And these are the type of seasons that you build off of. This is the foundation season. This is what the season is. This is the remember this 24-25 season when they figured it out, locked in, and became the 6th seed. They got to build off this. And now what we're seeing right now is the beginning stages of the new era of the Detroit Pistons, and it's fun to watch. I'm excited. I've seen a few games over the course of the season, and I like the way they play. JB Bickerstaff, he didn't get scapegoated. Did a great. I just feel like he wasn't the guy. He just wasn't the guy for the Cavs. But that doesn't mean that he can be the guy for the Pistons, and
Right.
They believed in him. And he's done a fantastic job with this organization, with this team right now. I just see some really good rivalries though. I see some really good throwback rivalries in here too.
Yes.
Bucks Pacers too. They've been going at it the last few
Yes.
years. They've been going a few years with the
drama,
with the basketball
theft.
yeah.
Basketball gate.
That's going to be fun. They're fairly close to each other too. Big Ten, type of patterns.
So it could be a Pacers Knicks first round.
Pistons.
I'm
Knicks.
sorry, it'd be Pistons Knicks first round. I mean, that's some old school stuff there.
Yeah, it is, and so far in the regular season, they've done a really good job against the Knicks. Cade Cunningham, I think he averages a triple-double against the Knicks.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to be a fun. That'll be a fun series. That's going to be a fun series. The first round last year we had against Philadelphia was probably one of the most entertaining series I've seen in a very long time, like just objectively. So
I didn't pay attention to this. Pistons are 9-1 in the last 10 games too.
Yes. Yeah. 7, and I mean, I don't want to disrespect the 7th and the 8th seed, but we're probably seeing 1 win just to be respectful. As we enter like 6 weeks away from the postseason. Whoever the 7th and 8th seed is, they're probably gonna win, if that, against the Cavs and the Celtics. Let's just be honest. The more entertaining games are going to be from 3 to 6, 3 and 6, and 4 and 5 in the first round. That's the cream of the crop.
I mean, never count out Miami Heat against the Celtics.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
There's no Jimmy. It's okay.
Just not this time. Yeah, it's not this time. Not this era. It's a new era over there in Miami.
Yeah. It even bothered me when they were talking about the game tonight, and while the Kentucky team was playing, and it said whoever they were playing, their superstar in that team, and it said Tyler Hero and the Miami Heat. I was like, oh, I love Tyler Hero, but that's the guy that we're mentioning first. Okay, we'll see where we're at.
They need Khalil Ware to become the first option. And once he becomes the first option, then Hero will be the lead guard, and then Bam will just Bam is kind of like that the 29 and 8 defensive force. Yeah. Right. Passing, playmaking force.
And that's a good trio, That's what we talked about. A defensive guy.
Yes. That's exactly. They just need Ware. Ware has to continue to grow. It has to be I mean, it has to be quick. If it can be quick, they could be right back in the top 6 because there is.
And we don't have to make a trade for Kevin Durant.
I mean, what does that trade look like?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't have to make it if Ware keeps on developing.
Where keeps on developing. Yeah, exactly. You don't lose anything. You don't lose anything. And again, there aren't great centers in the league for real. If we're being honest, it's really top heavy. It's Jokic, Embiid, Wemby, Chet, Karl Anthony Towns, Jared Allen, Porzingis. It's probably like 6 guys, 6 out of 30, 6, 7 out of 30. It's not good.
Yeah,
it's not good. So if he could develop and grow into a great young player, 20 years old, that's going to be best case scenario for Miami. Magic, just the injuries, unable to stay healthy. That's really what it was. And then the Hawks, it's just the same thing, man. I mean, just similar to this. It's just they're like a better version of Charlotte. They have a really good guard, but he's not efficient. But defensively, they just haven't been able to figure it out. They traded their two-way defensive player. I mean, their two-way front court player. I don't know.
Excuse me.
I really don't know what they're doing. Trae Young could be one of those guys that could be moved too.
Yeah. Let's be honest.
We're talking about LaMelo, but I think Trae Young might be next.
I do too, because there's contenders and then there's pretenders, and let's just be honest. Like the Hawks are one of those that feel like they're contending, but they're just not there. And so, I mean, you, at some point, you got to say, "Hey, we got to blow this up, keep going somewhere else."
Yeah, exactly. I agree because they've been in the play in the last 4 years.
4 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So spent Eastern Conference Finals playing 4 times. Sheesh.
Yep. And rough. The Eastern Conference Final run was like very memorable that they went that far. Like they shouldn't have done it. Knicks.
All right, let's go into the Western Conference before we get out of here. 50-11, Oklahoma City Thunder, Lakers, Nuggets, Grizzlies, Houston Rockets, Golden State Warriors, LA Clippers, Sacramento Kings, Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Dallas Mavericks at the 10th seed. And then we have Phoenix at 11. You see how we can talk about the 11th seed in the West and not in the East? It's crazy. Yeah. And you got Trailblazers right there too. Trailblazers and the Spurs. Trailblazers at 12, at 28 and 34, and San Antonio, no Wemby.
That's what you can say. He's out, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Wemby's out for the season.
Yeah. But you do have Fox.
Just don't think it's enough this season.
No.
So what's your thoughts, man? What's your thoughts? Lakers are number 2 in the West. Currently up 19-15 against the Pelicans.
23-7 at home. 23-7 at home. That's well. Of course, you got Oklahoma 26-4 at home, but they're 23-7 on the road. They just win. I mean, really, the West is where it's at, man. I hope the Thunder still is the front runner when we go to the Western Conference. I hope they're into that. But, I mean, the Lakers are playing well right now. I can't deny it. The Nuggets at 3. Some of these, the Lakers and Nuggets have creeped their way up into the top 3 in the West. Like, the Nuggets were having a bad season at the beginning of the year. They were 5, 6, or 7 playing there. And then all of a sudden they just quietly moved into that 3 spot here because the Grizzlies and the Rockets were up there at 1, 2, and 3 with the Thunder. And now, of course, the Rockets have fallen back to the 4th. And then the Rockets are 5th. Grizzlies are at 4. So, I mean, as close as this is, you've got 32 wins with Dallas, who are going to struggle because their whole team is pretty much on the IL. But at 32, and then the second place team's at 38 wins. So, I mean, there's only 6 games really between 2nd and 10th place. So it's still really close and competitive for all these spots. The East kind of spreads completely out through the whole 1 through 10 here, but really, the Clippers, if they go on a bit of a winning streak, they could pass the Grizzlies on this. I mean, they could go above the Rockets. So, I mean, it's anyone's game. The Warriors, who's been at that play-in, but since making that trade, are now 8-2. Like, they're at the 6th seed. Personally, the way that they're playing and the desire that they have to win now with Jimmy Butler there with the rest of the gang, I look for them to move up probably to the 4th seed by the end of the year. They're just playing well ball, very focused in. So I think the way it'll end will be Thunder, Lakers, Nuggets, Warriors. And I'm going to say Grizzlies, Clippers, Rockets. I'm going to put the Rockets ended up in the play-in because I just think the veteran that the Lakers or the Clippers have will carry them into the playoffs. And the Rockets, because I feel like the Rockets have been up there at the high level at the 2 seed for all season. Slowly, they're starting to drift back down. They're at the 6 now, and I think last week they're at the 4 possibly. So, I mean, they're trending down. They're 5-5 of their last games. They're on a 3-game losing streak. They're 20-10 at home and 17-14 on the road. But, I mean, 3 games losing streak. It's the wrong time where all these other teams made the trades and they're still on fire with what they've done with their additions. And Rockets didn't do anything. Granted, your core is good. It's just you're young. You're still developing. Stay with it. You shouldn't have made a trade. This is the future game here. So I'm going to say that they end up in the play-in game at the 7th seed.
Okay. I look at Clippers. They got a big Clippers Suns right now on TNT.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big game for both teams.
Yes.
Phoenix, they need that win. They need that win, man. Desperately. Because then they'd be tied with Portland. And I think Portland has I think they're tied with the tiebreak. I think they're 1-1 against each other. So Sacramento has some really good wins over this last 10 days or so. Zach LaVine went crazy. I think he shot like 82% in one of these games. What's named Western Conference Player of the Week. He's starting to get to his groove. He's starting to figure things out over there. Yeah, I just don't think Sabonis could ever be. He can't be the number one guy because he's not. He doesn't have the offensive game. It's not. He's not. He can't create his own shot to the where you could give him the basketball and he could go. Do certain things, break down the defense. So you're gonna always be looking at LaVine and DeRozan to be those primary shot creators, and that's fine. You're always gonna have a chance, especially with those two guys out there on a night-to-night basis. Doug Christie has done a hell of a job with this team. They had one team, one version of the Sacramento Kings. Now they have another version of the Sacramento Kings, and in a competitive conference where you're in the mix and you don't really have a lot of time to figure it out, right? You really have to capitalize on the practices, on the film sessions, all the things that you need to do quickly because you have teams behind you that are trying to get in front of you. So you have to make sure that you're on your game. And so for them, they had a little rough patch there, and then now they're really starting to, get a nice collection of wins going right now. But let's see if they can keep it up. Minnesota too. They had some moments. Randall just got back into the lineup. Good to see him back. He had missed some time. He's in the fold. Anthony Edwards is playing great. They're defensively, as long as the defense is there, they got McDaniels, they got Anthony Edwards, Randall, or once their defense is locked in, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Gobert in the middle, they're going to be able to stop. They're going to be able to make things difficult for teams in the Western Conference. That's one thing that they could hang their hat on because they do have a defensive maker in the middle. Is he dominant in the playoffs? No, but in the regular season, he alters shots and he makes people that drive to the basket think twice, and that's all you could ask for. Clippers, Kawhi's struggling a little bit, but I expect him to have some shooting slumps. I mean, he's missed so much time over these last few years. Once he starts to get to a rhythm, I think it's scary, honestly, that he's having a slump now, because I believe he's going to get out that slump by the time the playoff starts, and we've seen what he could do in the playoffs. When he has it going on. So I think this little slump that he's on is I think it's good because it's happening right now. And they had a stat up there 51-29 when Harden and Kawhi are in the lineup together. So with Ty Lue coaching, they're always going to have a shot. They're the Bucks. They're the Bucks of the West, where it's yes, Harden. I mean, it's kind of a coin flip on what he's going to do in the playoffs, but you got a solidified guy when healthy, what he's going to do, and that could make them very dangerous. They match up against a certain team in the West. Can they win a couple road games? And when you got someone like Kawhi got it going, he could definitely do that for you. Do I think Phoenix is going to make the play-in? Yes, I believe they'll make the play-in because I just think Dallas,
because the Dallas hurt.
Yeah. I just don't know if Dallas could be able to sustain enough wins to stay in that play-in spot. Phoenix starts tonight. They got to be able to get a good win tonight against the Clippers. It's a tough game. I should switch back to that game a little bit later, but I believe Phoenix will make the play-in. Yes.
I will agree with you too. I said earlier I don't, but I mean with the Dallas situation, I don't think that they have any wins to be able to stop them. So yeah, I'm with you on that part.
Yes.
Only because Dallas can't prevent them, not because they earned it.
Yeah. I mean their defensive numbers. They put up the graphic. They're like 20, almost second to last, dead last, and almost everything important defensively. So it speaks for itself. It speaks for itself.
That's like go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and I've got like Gamecast going on this because I can't get my phone to actually show anything anymore. I don't know what's up with my links that I use. But Bobo, who was the starter, what we talked about, he's got 2 points. Let's see here. 1 rebound, and he's played 9 minutes. Where people off the bench, of course, Royce O'Neal, who's played 13 minutes, and Grayson Allen's played 11 minutes. So you got a starter that has already played less minutes than technically everyone that's on the bench that's played. Only Tyus Jones is at 8 minutes is under him. Everyone else is over. So like, why are we even starting him for not letting him play with the starters that much?
It's for Bobo.
Yes.
I don't know what Budenholzer's plan was. I really don't. I'm interested. If I was able to interview him and ask him, I'd ask him like, what was the game plan with you and your coaching staff in regards to Bobo, and did anything change? It's one of those weird things, but for the Warriors, Golden State, they got a great win tonight against the Knicks. Great win, big win. And again, they're going to continue to grow. They're going to continue to get better with this new team, with Jimmy Butler being the second guy. Mm-hmm. He's not really scoring as much, but he's doing the other things that impact winning, and that's exactly what they needed. And he's still been able to get to the free throw line, slow the game down, just bring a different type of pace to what Steph Curry brings. To now you have a counter to the counter, so it makes them more dangerous. And what it does, it creates open shots for everyone else on the team. Mm-hmm. And they're still well coached. They're going to be extremely dangerous. They're going to be extremely dangerous coming first couple of weeks of April, man. I mean, Denver, Golden State. I think I could see Golden State finishing the season maybe with the fifth spot, and we could see Golden State, Memphis. That'd be great. That'd be great. If we could see that, or Denver, Golden State in the first round. Man, so one of those, either Jokic or Steph is getting eliminated in the first round.
Yes, that's crazy.
Woo!
That's the West.
Locked in on all those games. Locked in on all of those games. I need to see what happens. But yeah, it's been exciting in the West so far, man. Shout out League Pass. Been able to watch some of these teams. Yeah, it's been great. Real true comp.
Well, I believe that wraps up our show for tonight, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, as always, guys, we thank you all so much for all the likes, subscribes, follows that you get. Please check out our YouTube channel down here at youtube.com/@MNC Hoops. Go give us a subscribe there. You can see all of our past videos we've ever made. See some of our reels that we did in the past, too, that we'll be going back up with when it comes playoff times almost, maybe sooner. But again, thank you all. CJ, where can you find us at or find you at?
Yeah, you can find me on X at cjames9_, and you can find me on IG at cj.james9. CJ versus the World on YouTube.
Awesome. You can find me MDLawson00, pretty much all social media platforms. I do have a second show that I do all Kentucky sports. It's called Cats Chat or Cats Chats Pod. Go find that out. We're not going to be live this week. Actually, we're going to probably take the week off just because high school basketball is in full blow with the regional games. So it's 13 region is tomorrow when our Harlan County boys play. So we're just going to take the week off this week. So with that being said, guys, again, thank you all so much. We appreciate you all joining in with all the people that were live with us here. And we will hopefully see you guys next week where we know if the Suns are actually still a team and if Charlotte has just went ahead and quit and joined the G League. But until then, guys, you all have a good one and keep hooping.
Take care, guys. See you next week.